Hey guys!
This video is perfect for when you are new to Disneyland Paris.
Yeah, it's the newbie to DLP video.
And why is this video so important?
Well, we've been here so many times that things are obvious to us, but we realize not all of you have been to Disneyland Paris yet.
So you might experience a bit of anxiety about going to Disneyland Paris for the first time. So this is a guide for you when you are going to Disneyland Paris for the very first time and you have a lot of questions. So let's start this video. So the first questions are from Daniela, and she is asking us, do you have to pay for the shows that you can see inside the park?
Well, Daniela, no, you don't have to pay extra for any of the shows inside the parks. So, Mickey and the Magician, it's included. Frozen, it's included. The only show you have to pay extra for is the Buffalo Bill Wild West show, which is a dinner show in Disney Village. So technically that's outside of the parks. In short, you don't have to pay extra for the shows inside the parks. That's Disney Park or Walt Disney Studios. Another newbie question is, can you get from one park into the other park just like that?
The answer to this question is no. You cannot go from one park to the other just like that. You need to leave one park in order to enter the other park. Even more so, if you would like to visit both parks on the same day, you need a combi ticket. I will leave a link in the description down below to our website where I explain the whole situation on paper. No, digitally, no, in text. When to eat? When is the best time to have your dinner, lunch, breakfast?
Our advice would be eat your meals between your regular lunch or dinner time.
That is absolutely true, Sven, because when people are getting hungry, they start to look for food in restaurants and booths. But if you are smart, then you go for lunch or dinner before the crowd gets hungry. That will save you a lot of time and lots of crowds at restaurants and booths.
And what also helps is reservations. Another frequently asked question is, do you have to make reservations for all your meals? So breakfast, lunch and dinner.
The answer is no. In general, you don't have to make reservations for all of your meals. For example, for breakfast, you can walk inside the counter service restaurant and order your breakfast. However, if you would like to eat in a sit-down restaurant with character dining, for example, for your breakfast, you have to make reservation. The same counts for lunch and also for dinner.
Yeah.
So in other words, for sit-down restaurants and buffet restaurants, you do have to make a reservation. But for counter service restaurants and fast food, you don't have to make a reservation. You can just walk towards the restaurant and order your meal. Disneyland Paris is also about the characters, of course. Meeting your most favorite characters is fun, especially when you are dressed like one of them. But are you allowed to? This is a question we got asked a lot. And the answer is, you are allowed to do some Disney bounding, so your clothing is to be inspired by the Disney characters. However, you are not allowed to be completely dressed like a character, as if you are Snow White or as if you are Cinderella. That's not allowed. And this is, of course, to make sure there's no confusion about who is the real Disney character and who isn't.
Yeah.
But to be really honest, this is a gray area, because sometimes we see people here in the park that are so well dressed like a Disney character that we are thinking, wow, is this allowed? We thought this wasn't allowed. This is just a matter of being lucky that a cast member lets you inside the park when you're dressed like that. We would not recommend going dressed like a Disney character, because chances are that your access will be denied because you look like a Disney character too much. But maybe if you are able to downscale your outfit a bit, so that when they deny you the access, that you can maybe take off something to make you look less like the character, then maybe the access will be granted and you will be welcomed into Disneyland Paris.
Talking about dressing up for the occasion, well, we got a question here on Instagram from Sarah Maxwell, and it goes like this. How to dress in the parks? Everything I read and watched so far said not to wear athletic shoes or clothes in Paris. However, half of the people in Disneyland Paris were dressed in athletic clothing and shoes, much like in the American parks. It depends on the weather that you can expect. So during wintertime, athletic clothing might be a no-no because it's too cold. So warm coats, maybe an extra layer. We see people wearing total ski outfits, and especially the children, to keep the children warm. Personally, I wear jeans with some sturdy hiking boots and a thick winter coat and some extra layers in the form of t-shirts and sweaters underneath this all. But yeah, in summertime, if athletic shoes are comfortable for you and you can walk all day comfortably on athletic shoes, why not? All in all, it's personal preference and the weather that you can expect.
I'm walking in Disneyland Paris with my leather shoes, and as you can see, the toes are already pretty wet. You can imagine that if you are wearing your athletic shoes, your toes will be wet within no time. But if you don't mind, well, of course you can wear them, but we would suggest wearing leather shoes or waterproof shoes, something to keep you warm and comfortable. Because otherwise it will be a very uncomfortable day here in Disneyland Paris. Okay. So Samantha Whitehouse, she asked us, how do you let the French know that you speak English? Her advice is to say hello instead of bonjour, so they know exactly that they have to approach you in English. That being said, the French love it and really appreciate it when you try to speak French. So if you would say bonjour, they will probably hear from your accent that you are not French, but they appreciate you trying to speak French, so they will also approach you in English. Don't be afraid, just speak French whenever you can and jump into English right away and they will switch with you.
So one of the questions we got asked frequently is what to do if you are in need of some painkillers or medicine for your children. If you are in the park itself, there are two locations for getting some first aid or medical supplies. In the Disneyland Park, it's at the end of Discovery Arcade, between the end of the Discovery Arcade and Plaza Gardens restaurant. There's a first aid ward where you can get some painkillers or a band-aid, whatever you need. In Walt Disney Studios Park, you can find the first aid desk at the entrance of the park on the right hand side when you enter the park, right next to the toilets and the photo shop.
But maybe that's not enough. Maybe you need more than what they can offer you at that first aid location in Disneyland. And in that case, you need to go outside of the park and, for example, go to Val d'Europe, where we are standing right now, because here's a pharmacy and you can probably get what you need over here. So at the end of the day, the park is closing and everybody's walking into Disney Village. But the question that newbies are asking us a lot is, till when is Disney Village open? Until what time can I go into the boutiques and buy stuff? Well, the boutiques are generally opened until 10:30. But our experience is that till 11, even 11:30, there are still activities in Disney Village. This also depends on the season that you are visiting Disneyland Paris. During summertime, when the Disneyland parks are closing later than they do right now when it's winter time, Disney Village will also be open until later. This is something you can check in the Disneyland app. Go to Disney Village stores and boutiques and the opening times are shown in the app. And here in Disney Village you can see that the Disney store is open from Sunday till Friday from 9 till 10:30. But on Saturday they are opened until 12 o'clock at midnight. So, well, that's quite a long time you are able to shop here in Disney Village. So, one of you guys also asked about picnicking inside Disneyland Paris. Where are the best picnic spots? Well, guys, I can tell you that there are signs outside Disneyland that says picnicking is only permitted outside the theme parks. Thank you for your understanding. Okay, so this is the picnic area, which is open already since the beginning of the park.
Yeah.
At that time, you weren't allowed to bring any food inside Disneyland.
No.
So they had to create a picnic area for people to
enjoy the lunch.
Yes, exactly. And as you can see here in front of Disneyland Park, there are a few benches, not just here, but also over there, which are actually pretty awesome to have your picnic and your lunch. There are, of course, benches inside Disneyland Park and also inside Walt Disney Studios, and you are allowed to bring your own food. So that might be some useful information when you would like to go picnicking in Disneyland Paris.
And the next question is about going to Disneyland Paris by car. When you are driving to Disneyland Paris by car, then you probably have the question about how do I park my car and where do I have to drive? Well, this information will probably help you out.
Morning!
Very good morning, everybody. We're driving to the parking lot of Disneyland Paris and show you guys that it's not as tricky and difficult as you might think. Here is the proof.
We're on the same stretch now as you were from the highway.
Yeah.
Well, this bit is 60 kilometers an hour. Be advised that most people drive a little bit faster, so...
We are driving towards the gates of Disneyland Paris.
Parking?
To the parking, yeah. So first up is the parking. You first buy your ticket at the
parking booth.
The parking booth. So as you can see, here is parking and other directions, but we're going for the parking, and this is always a very exciting part of arriving at Disneyland. That signature gate with the beautiful lettering. This is the most perfect start of your day, looking at this.
Again, prices are on the board. 30 euros for a car, 45 for a camper, 30 for a coach, and 25 for a motorbike, which I think is a lot for a motorbike.
Yes.
Bonjour.
Voilà pour vous.
Merci.
Passez une bonne journée.
Bonne journée.
Au revoir.
Sven has got the Infinity card, which makes parking for free for us. We are fast because we show our Infinity card and we get a receipt. In our case, with a code for our special parking space. But if you don't have an Infinity card, you just pay by card, Visa or just your normal debit card or cash, of course. You will be allowed to drive further onto the parking lot, and the cast members will show you where you can park your car. So as you can see, the parking lot is pretty empty right now.
This can be full.
Yes, it can be. Yeah, we've seen it many times that it's full. On this side, this is the part where the campers and buses are parked. So all the regular cars are parked at this side. This is already the first encounter with people who would like to be first. So don't let them drive you mad. Stay calm. Now, as you can see, there are not so many cars right now, and that's obvious because it's 8:30 and that's actually the start of extra magic time. Only hotel guests or people with a certain annual pass are allowed to the park at this time of the day.
And then it's time for maybe the best part of the whole parking experience, when you have an Infinity and you will pass, because you can drive up to the gate and go to your own special parking lot. And that's pretty awesome, especially when the rest of the parking lot is completely crowded and you can still drive up to the very front of the parking lot and get yourself a parking space.
A special one. You can see the code changes daily.
Yeah, the code changes daily.
Per car.
Oh, I see a beautiful spot over there.
Yeah.
That one is for us. Ooh, yeah. Okay, so here we are. And now we're going to show you how to get to the park.
Yeah.
To walk towards Disneyland Paris, I think it's around 10 minutes or something.
Yeah, something.
It's very easy. You cannot go wrong. They lead the way, so it's not like you'll be lost or something. So don't worry about that. You walk towards the park, and then you can choose between a few
security gates.
Security gates, indeed. So that's actually the most exciting part of the whole parking thing, because security can often be hectic and busy. However, once you've done it, you know what to expect, and the next time you will be fine. So we're going to show you that as well. So let's go.
At the beginning of the walkway towards the park, on the left hand side you have the restrooms, and on the right hand side there's another building, but that's the daycare center for pets.
And then it's finally time to walk to the entrance of the Disneyland park. One of the benefits of filming everything that you do is that we got an actual timestamp on how long it takes to get from the parking lot to the security of Disneyland Paris, which is 5 minutes. So it is actually a very short walk from the parking lot towards the security of the park.
So you finally arrived at the entrance of the Disneyland parks. Behind me is Walt Disney Studios, and on the right hand side of me is the entrance to Disneyland Park itself. Behind me is the main security gate. But when more crowds are gathering, on the right hand side there's also a security gate, and when it's really busy, there will be also one open on the left hand side. So many gates to choose from. Pro tip, get all your belongings into the bag that you are carrying and make sure that your pockets are empty. It's just like at the airport, you have to empty your pockets with all the metal bits and pieces like loose change, keys. It's not as strict as at the airport, so you don't have to take off your shoes or your coat. Just empty your pockets and have your bag scanned. That's more than enough. Quick and easy.
And ready for the park.
And the next question is about where to charge your electric vehicle. And to answer that question, I'm going to give you an idea of where I am exactly.
Behind me are the restrooms, and this is the entrance to Disneyland Paris. So here you have the walkway into Disneyland Paris with the big parking lot on that side. But over here is actually a spot for your electrical car. And I saw a few Teslas in a row and I was like, hey, wait a minute, that is probably electrical car charge spot. So here we are. And so how to get there? You need to take the parking lot for campers and buses all the way in the back. So you have to drive all the way to the front actually of the parking lot. There are some chargers. So let's see how many there are. There are not too many, I can see. There are only 2 chargers. No, there are 4 chargers. So on each side there is a charger.
So each pole has 2 charging units. Within each charger you can choose which plug you need.
So for example, here we have a Tesla. So he needs a type 2 charger. But maybe some other car needs this kind of a charger. So yeah, that makes a lot of difference.
And it's rated at 3.7 kilowatts.
Okay, and does it cost any money?
I think you have to fill in a code to get access for charging.
Going to Disneyland Paris for the first time is of course an exciting experience. And we hope with this video that we have taken away from the anxiety and made you more excited to go here and to visit this beautiful park.
Yeah, and for more ease of mind, watch our other videos about Disneyland Paris. There's tons of other information in it as well. And so if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up.
And don't forget to subscribe to our social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram.
And maybe next time we'll see you in Main Street. Bye! Waterproof clothing? Sturdy umbrella? Why? It's always sunny in Disneyland Paris. Well, anyway, video's over. Time to go home. Go!
Ik had helemaal niet op record gedrukt, dus was niet zo handig.
Nee, helemaal zonder paraplu in de regen.
Ja, alles voor de goede video. As you can see, walking into this